Hey chat. Hey, welcome again. It's such a good day to film, okay? Today's video is gonna be like a little book video. I might post more videos later today too, but things happen. I get busy. I sit down and then I forget. And then, it is what it is. But I guess I have a YouTube channel, so I have to like post to it, right? So, I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, look, welcome. I know you're here for the books. Look, but we're not gonna talk about the books first. We're gonna talk about this little fidget spinner. Look, I ended up buying this from Amazon just because like the pictures looked really cool, and now I have it and I don't know what to do with it, okay? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the pictures made it seem more fun than it really was. It's like this magnetic thing. These like little magnetic rings. It was 10 bucks. I don't recommend it, but it looks kind of cool. All right. Yeah, that's a quick little update. Okay, so now let's talk about books. Okay, look. Okay, these look, these were flipped. We're gonna talk about those in a bit, okay? Because those have a different meaning to me, okay? I'm gonna start with this one. Look, it's called My Best Friend's Exorcism. And the reason I got this one, okay? I literally just like the cover. The cover looks good, It looks like a vintage, type of like VHS, I don't know, cover type of thing. It reminds me of Hack and Slash. I have it back there. But, it is what it is. So let me read the synopsis for you. It says, high school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade. But after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries. And by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Are you ready? Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? And that was My Best Friend's Exorcism. I haven't started reading this one, okay? This one just arrived today. This one arrived a couple days ago. It was recommended to me by someone. Totally forgetting who now, but someone recommended this because I liked The Silent Patient a lot, and they thought I'd like this one too, The Perfect Marriage. Just from reading the synopsis, I was kind of hooked, so I ended up ordering it. So let me read that to you now. It says, would you defend your husband if he was accused of killing his mistress? Sarah Morgan is a successful and powerful defense attorney in Washington, D.C. at 33 years old. She's a named partner at her firm, and life is going exactly how she planned. The same cannot be said for her husband, Adam. He's a struggling writer who has had little success in his career. He begins to tire of his and Sarah's relationship as she is constantly working. Out in the secluded woods, at Adam and Sarah's second home, Adam engages in a passionate affair with Kelly Summers. Then, one morning, everything changes. Adam is arrested for Kelly's murder. She had been found stabbed to death in Adam's and Sarah's second home. Sarah soon finds herself playing the defender for her own husband, a man accused of murdering his mistress. But is Adam guilty or is he innocent? Okay, there's like a little picture of like a little dog down here. I was gonna say like, I bet the dog killed her. But just from reading the synopsis, I think it was probably Sarah. Sarah probably killed, the mistress and now is framing it on the husband, but she's still forced to defend him, and maybe that's part of her like alibi. I don't know, right? It's called The Perfect Marriage. There you go. Seems pretty cool. All right, now these next two books. Okay, I'm kind of like going through like my spiritual, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words, but I feel like The Alchemist is one of my favorite books, right? And one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite books is because every time I read it, I feel like as I'm getting older, I understand it differently and different parts resonate with me more and more. So these past 2 weeks have been kind of like hectic. Actually, these past 2 months, bro. But your boy's getting through it, you know? And in doing so, I kind of like came across a couple of notes and conversations I had with my cooperating teacher when I was student teaching. Okay, if you didn't know, I'm a teacher. Hello, nice to meet you. I teach reading. It is what it is. But when I was first starting off, I had this cooperating teacher. She was actually my professor too, and she requested to have me be her student teacher. And me and her, we talk all the time. She just had a baby last year. So some of you might know that baby because I showed you guys a picture last year. I showed like 3 of you a picture. So if you remember, you know, say I remember. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Bro, okay, so she had mentioned that her favorite book of all time was The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. And I was not in like a reading mood back then. I was just kind of like trying to like finish school and stuff because like I already had so much stuff to read for school. So I was like, you know, I don't really have time for it. But I always felt kind of like guilty for not having picked it up. So now here I am. I've already read 55 pages of this book. And I love how, I don't know what this is called, okay? But you book people, if you're there, what's this called? Like when the pages are kind of like, you know, not cut evenly. Like my copy of The Alchemist is like this too, and I just love that. I love that. All right, now let me read the inside flap. Let me read the synopsis for this. Eddie's a grizzled war veteran who feels trapped in the toils of his father before him, fixing rides at a seaside amusement park. As the park has changed over the years, from the loop-de-loop to the pipeline plunge, so too has Eddie changed, from optimistic youth to embittered old age. His days are a dull routine of work, loneliness, and regrets. Then on his 83rd birthday, Eddie dies in a tragic accident, trying to save a little girl from a falling cart. With his final breath, he feels 2 small hands in his, and then nothing. He awakens in the afterlife, where he learns that heaven is not a lush garden of Eden, but a place where your earthly life is explained to you by 5 people who were in it. These people may have been loved ones or distant strangers, yet each of them changed your path forever. One by one, Eddie's 5 people illuminate the unseen connections of his earthly life. As the story builds to its stunning conclusion, Eddie desperately seeks redemption in the still unknown last act of his life. Was it a heroic success or a devastating failure? The answer, which comes from the most unlikely of sources, is as magical and inspirational as a glimpse of heaven itself. I don't know why, but that really hooked me. When my co-op teacher was talking to me about this book, she didn't really necessarily like state how spiritual it was gonna be and like how like in tune it is with maybe regrets and the paths that you didn't take or the forces that act on your life that you have no control over but drastically changed the course that you're on, you know? So that's called The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I've read 55 pages. It's amazing so far. The next book is in line with that one, with The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. This one's called The Midnight Library. And I'll read the synopsis for you and you'll see like, I guess the trend between these 2 books that kind of like really reeled me in. So for this one, the synopsis says, "We all have regrets. Am I reading these because I'm realizing I have regrets? Okay. We all have regrets. Choices we could have made differently. Paths we didn't take. Other lives we might have led. But what if you were given a chance to fix your past? Enter the Midnight Library. Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then at the stroke of midnight on her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to the Midnight Library, where each book contains an alternative life, a possible world in which she made different choices. She is given what seems like the ultimate opportunity, a chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question. With infinite choices, what's the best way to live? And that is the Midnight Library. I think what really compelled me to that was the idea that I guess I've lived my life really without second guessing my choices and just kind of like going forward with the motions. Because I feel like every choice we make, whether consciously or subconsciously, are a part of who we are. And I like to think that I like who I've turned out to be, and I'm scared that if I were to make any other choices in my life, that path would have drastically changed. So I'm really curious to find out how different choices affect the lives that you end up having throughout your life. Alright, so with that, bro, I'm probably gonna have another haul by the end of July. I just got an email saying that some books I had ordered in March. I think I ordered 8 books. They're gonna arrive this week, okay? But I wanna read these 4 books first. That way in our next video, I could talk and review these and then unbox the other videos. I'm gonna say this, okay? Out of the 4 books, I think I'm probably gonna like the Midnight Library the most. Actually, no. I think I'm gonna like the 5 People You Meet in Heaven most. Then in number 2, I might enjoy the Midnight Library second. Then The Perfect Marriage. And then My Best Friend's Exorcism. I love horror movies and stuff like that, but I don't know if I necessarily like horror books, other than like Goosebumps, you know, but that's not horror. The main reason I got this was for the cover. Like, this is my vibe. This is the life I'm trying to live.